Set your butane torches to high and your expectations to low. Coming to you live from Just the Tip Cigars in the hills of the Steel City. Get ready to get your fix. This is the Cigar Junkies Podcast. Welcome to the Cigar Junkies Podcast, a cigar show for the community by the community. A forum that talks stogies, booze, food, and anything else in the cigar lifestyle. If you're looking for ratings, negativity, reviews, or an authority on all things cigars, you came to the wrong place. Whether you like what you hear or not, please join the conversation and let us know by finding us at the Cigar Junkies Facebook group or emailing us at thecigarjunkies@gmail.com.
What's up, junkies?
I'm Corey.
I'm Sam.
And I am Jason.
And we're the Cigar Junkies, and you can be too. That's right. If you're watching this, you guys can do the most important work for your community, for your country, for your God that you can. Maybe that was a little too far, that one. Yeah, a little bit. I was on a roll. You can go to thecigarjunkies.com. You can find all of our swag. You can find our latest episodes. You can then like, subscribe, and share on every platform. Comment. Do it like Troy does, man. Get out. Maybe not as much as Troy does.
No, feel free. You can do it just as much as Troy.
I guess it depends on where
I'm
you
good
live.
with
that. Don't scare them away. But we need the community.
I think it should be competition, though. I think you guys should try and do more than Troy does to see if you can. I don't think they can.
Hashtag more than Troy.
Hashtag more than Troy. You got to put that out there.
That camera angle is wild, bro.
It's all right.
With that boom all up in there. You know what? You should like it better because it really gives you that, making you look like you're doing something.
Yeah, right.
Look, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He looks busy just by having that boom in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for you.
Boom, boom,
so normally we're changing this up a little bit. We're going to get right into what we're smoking this week, so you guys can follow along with us, and then we'll talk a little bit about some non-cigar stuff. We go back and forth through the show. Here we go. Hit it.
It's time for the Cigar of the Week, brought to you by Leaning House Fine Cigars. The Leaning House is your destination for the ultimate cigar smoking experience. Whether you're exploring their wide selection of premium cigars, unwinding in their comfortable lounge, or enjoying live music on one of the most unique and intimate live music venues in the burg, the house has something for everyone. Do you want to try the stick we're smoking today? Stop by leaninghousefinecigars.com or visit Dave in Bell Vernon or Heidi in Brownsville. Wherever you are, make the house your home for premium cigars.
All right, guys, we are smoking the Fuerte y Libra Midnight Rider, or Midnight Bender, my apologies. I'm thinking of a song that I'm working on. This is a 6x52 Toro. The wrapper is a very toothy.
I feel like I could stand the table with this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
they should call this the Dracula.
Because it's so toothy.
Hey.
Wow, dude, the dag jokes are at like an 8.5. We need them at like a 7 for the show.
How about How to Train My Dragon? That would be for the Connecticut version.
Toothless. I get it.
Yeah.
Continue.
If you don't have a child under the age of 15 in your care, I apologize. You're already lost. San Andreas wrapper. Binder is Dominican Piloto, and then Dominican Piloto Lajero in the filler. So, I mean, they really committed.
It was a Piloto kind of day.
I'm just going to call that Pilati tobacco from now on.
Pilates tobacco.
Yes. Gotta get them Pilati hotties. This translates to so Fuerte y Libra translates directly to strong and free. The company's mission statement on their website is as follows. In 2013, with cigar lit and drink in hand, we hatched the idea of starting a brand of cigars that would exemplify the strength and freedom that define America. We spent the next 5 years covering the basis of building a business, but also smoking a lot of cigars to define what our palate, our blends would speak to. The journey of taste led us to Tamboril, known to many as the world capital of cigars. I don't know who this many are. I've heard of a couple of different ones. This is the first time that area has really been defined that way for me. I don't know if you.
Oh no, yeah, I've heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I think it's like, you know.
Well, I think that's where they have the big, like the huge cigar festival is in Tamboril, like the monstrosity as it were.
Thank you to Sam this morning.
What did I do?
Making me not have to drink alone.
I just wanted a little sweetness in my coffee. That's
Sure.
Coffees,
That is the largest bottle of Disaronno that I've ever seen, bro.
Monster.
So when I first started trying to drink liquor straight, right, I always wanted to be a Scotch guy, right? Always. and that's exemplified by, I have a friend named Mao. You may have not met him. He'd always call me his old friend, which was ironic because he's like 11 years older than I am. And I'm like, why do you keep calling me that? He's like, because every time I come over, you want to sit in the garage and smoke cigars, drink scotch, and play chess. He's like, you're an old dude.
Mhm.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm for it. I'm with it. That's fine. So, but before I made the transition to being able to drink straight liquor, and if you have questions, guys, in the chat room, if you're struggling with that, let me know. I could give you some tips. I did with a young man at work the other day. But
Corey Banks making alcoholics every day.
that's what I'm doing, guys. Dude, they think I'm a drunk. Like, because of the amount of time I talk about.
You said that with a smile. That I don't know that I would be proud of that one.
Because other than every other Sunday morning, which is the sequel to Any Given Sunday,
Yes.
yeah, I don't drink like frequently.
Okay.
Like, not super frequently. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm now cigars. I'm very happy to not drink.
Just keep digging, bud.
Weeks.
Keep digging.
That's how they looked at me too, and that's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's get back to the point. The point was, I used the first straight alcohol that I was able to enjoy. Now I'm gonna forget the dang name of it. Is what do they use to make the rusty nail?
I don't know what rusty nail is.
Drambuie. Drambuie was the first thing that I was like, yeah, I could drink this straight. I know.
No.
But we're talking about training wheels.
Yeah, I got you, but oh no.
So, I go to Drambuie is like Scotch mixed with honey.
Yeah, it's
a Tatiscan.
Yeah.
Kinda,
Okay,
or
I can see
acid.
I can see the training wheels portion of that.
Yes. So, anywho, I remember one time being at the airport flying out for an oil field practice, and I wanted to get a little tipsy before I got on the airplane. And I was like, this is what I like. And we don't have Drambuie. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking around. I seen Disaronno, and I was like, I think I can drink that. So I drank like 3 or 4, probably only 3 doubles of Disaronno.
Yeah.
And it was like, but that did it because
got you where you needed to be.
I wasn't really a drinker then, and it went down easy, and I put them babies down, and man, I slept good on that plane for a little while.
I like me some amaretto. That's all.
But so there was a time where that was like one of the few straight alcohols I could drink.
One of the ones.
Yeah. So
hey, can you pull up what factory they're out of? If you look at Half Wheel, they usually
of course.
declare it. I'm just curious now and all that. No, have you had anything by these guys before? My voice
not
isn't
that I'm
voicing.
necessarily aware of. Yes, there's
You even
struggles.
had that one?
There's struggles happening.
You okay?
There's struggles. I'm working with it. We're getting through it. All right.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Well, I saw you do one of these and then like try and catch it, but not catch it at the same time.
I caught the cherry between my ring and middle finger when it fell below the table. I was examining the burn, which was not perfect, but neither was my cigar holding skills. So, I dropped it. It's okay. I've had way worse.
So back to my question: have you had these before?
I don't think I have.
No, I don't.
But I don't know how they don't have Dwayne Johnson involved in the marketing of these somehow. That's what they need.
With the
Brahma
Brahma
Bull.
Bull, baby.
If you look instead on here, if you look at Fuerte Libre and then look up just say Fuerte Libre Half Wheel, HALFWH, should help you pull it up.
Good morning to our little furry friend Ryan Seneca out there. I don't know why he's covering his hair in shame, but I have, I guess, an idea. Sam's mom, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Marcy and John, and I seen Chris in there earlier. She's a little buried now. Yeah, but yeah.
Heck yeah. No, I'm gonna say initial thoughts on it. It's not as potent as I expected it to be.
Warms the fingers though.
I'm sure it does. Yeah. What happened to your burn there, bud?
That's what I was examining.
Yeah. Mine's pretty good considering the wrapper that I have here.
I also lost a lot of cherry and maybe a little bit of my left testicle during my droppage.
Okay.
I'd definitely call this cigar medium, but airy.
Just a wide open draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a very airy draw.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. I had a guy talk about that at the shop the other day. He's like, man, this is a great cigar. He's like, it's just too wide open. And I went, all right, well, after this one, get another. And he's like, well, and I was like, and cut it less. And he goes, I never thought of that. I'm like, yeah, like you control how much the opening is. So like if you like that draw and it's wide open, that's okay.
And
yes and no.
This cigar's got a very, very small taper on the back of it. I noticed that when I cut it.
Yeah, it does turn in a little bit more. I don't think it's.
But I absolutely ripped it.
Oh, you lopped the top off.
Yeah.
Grip it and rip it. Give me the camera real quick. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, anybody that's actually visually watching this, here is my burn. It's already improving, but it didn't start well. Some of that, probably my fault, yeah. But I was examining that before the drop. So just so you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the part that is not burning well toward the bottom of the cigar, and I'm going to try to not touch this up, and then I'll show you guys an update here in a little bit, because what should happen is the airflow coming from underneath the cigar should aid the combustion on the bottom and correct the burn on its own.
So one thing I've been doing different lately on that is, well, I borrow yours for a second because it's going to be hard to point out on mine.
If I don't hit it, it's going to go out.
Okay.
So hold on.
So where we always say like the long part on bottom, yours is actually a decent example of it. So like where it'd be like this section is longer, but as you see, like it's burning faster here. Instead of prioritizing this down where it's higher here, put the lowest spot up. This will eventually correct, and it should slow the transition of this as well. So
if you have trouble remembering, the easiest way to remember is never measure from the bottom. Always measure from the top.
Nothing but hurt feelings.
Yeah, you don't want them hurt feelings. So measure from the top.
You got it backwards.
Yeah, you never measure from the top. You measure from the bottom.
Yeah, you're right. I did backwards it.
Yeah.
I thought it had. I still think it works.
Yeah, it still works.
Always measure from the bottom. I still think the easiest thing. So you want to put your short game at the top.
Yes.
And measure from the bottom. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of what I was getting at. Whatever part is burning the fastest is where you want at the top, not necessarily putting the part that burns the slowest at the bottom, because you can have the fastest burn at 3 o'clock and have the slowest burn be at, I don't know.
I think Marcy learned something.
9 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like it can, because they can burn wonky.
Yes. Marcy says, so the part not burning well on the bottom. Ah, thank you. It's counterintuitive because you would think heat rises, right? So you would think, okay, the part that's burning well should be on the bottom. That heat is going to rise and it's going to burn the other part. That doesn't work that way because you need oxygen for combustion.
Yep.
And so if you have the part that's not burning well at the top, there is no oxygen there because you're getting smoke rising to that point and all of the other things that are happening there. And that was one of the most useful things that I learned in my journey as a cigar smoker.
Yeah, it's okay. People walk past buildings. It happens.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah. No, that article you just had up was interesting. So it looks like Fuerte Libre is no longer Fuerte Libre due to some issues they've had with somebody else who uses FUE at the beginning of their name of their company. So now they are Fortaleza y Libre.
Oh,
so I actually did not know that.
It's easy, I guess.
Yeah,
I should just change it to the Fort Pitt tunnels. We'll sell a ton of them.
I get the trademarking and like getting involved because there's certain stuff that's yours, and people are gonna drag off of it to try and attract customers to their stuff. My problem with like this case is like this is not getting confused for a Fuente. It's not going to get confused for it. So like it doesn't smoke like a Fuente. It doesn't look like a Fuente. All of it.
I just noticed the mittens.
Oh yeah. He's in full sloth mode. So
he's moving pretty quick.
In honor of Anthrocon this weekend here in Pittsburgh, Seneca decided he was going to sloth it up.
The furry convention.
Yeah, the furry convention. Seneca decided he was going to sloth it up a little bit. So and it is. I don't think it's to the quality level of the ones you're going to see on TVs, but it is pretty fantastic.
So until we get either company, okay, I'm cool with Manscaped or Nude, but until one of those companies decides to support this show, with an ad, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be like, you've heard of a hunger strike. I'm going to call it the furry convention at Corey's home until one of these companies decides that they want to sponsor us. That's how we're going to keep track.
But you don't have any body hair. Like, you don't have the problems the rest of us do. Are you like a waist down furry?
Shall I remind you of Under the Leaning House
God,
deck?
please, for the love of God.
Yeah, you walked into that one there,
I
pal.
sprinted. You're right.
You really
You've heard
did.
other people use different analogies,
Yeah.
but Corey says, "I'm furry from the waist down."
I'm furry. No, yeah, you just sideshowed Bob to yourself.
I
pretty hard
did.
on
I
that
did.
one. Yeah, very
quite
very,
efficiently
very
there,
poorly.
and yeah, it hurt my soul a
That's
little
right.
bit. Yeah, it's not the best ever.
So,
They call that the Eye of Saruman.
so Sam, you've got a little bit of Di Serrano in your black coffee this
I
morning.
do.
Saruman.
How is that going with the cigar there? What's your mix?
I think the sweetness of the Di Serrano is actually kind of sugar capping the cigar, so it's toning it down. It's
Okay.
because the cigar doesn't have the body or strength. I don't know which one really gives it that overcoming. I guess either one could. It doesn't have the body or the strength to overcome the amount of sweetness from the coffee. So it's good and I'm enjoying it, but like I just had Ryan top me off to bring that sweetness down so I can taste the cigar better.
Sure.
Just remember, kids, tequila pairs with everything.
And I'm experiencing pretty much the same thing. The cigar is neither to kind of throw back to Trey. The cigar is not I don't think it's bold.
No.
It is not robust, it's not complex.
I think it's more complex than you're giving it credit for.
It could be
there's a
burn
lot
issue,
going on
to be
in
fair.
that stick.
I
But
think
it
this-
is
you know
all
what?
toned down.
This reminds me of if I had to compare it to a brand that I have had more experience with, it's very Rocky Patel to me. And Rocky has a lot of range.
Yeah, but you're talking like the Edge series.
Probably something
Kind of
like
rocks
that.
right in with the Edge.
Okay, hold on. I need the camera real quick
But that's
because here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect yet, but you see how much straighter it is than it was.
Sorry, I'm going to piggyback on this.
Somebody needs to roll Eric.
go ahead.
No, I like that. Like that's a great example. A lot of times the burn issue isn't the cigar. Sorry, guys. It's I tell people all the time, like, if you can't remember to turn your cigar regularly when you're smoking, because I mean you're doing other stuff. That's why I like the V cut. I know I go here and I go here. Even if I just keep going back and forth between it, I still change it 90 degrees each time.
Sure.
So like at
This
least that
show
way.
does not support the cutting with the V. Grow up and do a straight cut.
So we all know that Corey does not support the V.
I do not support the V, man. You ever see what compound V does to people? It's not good. Anybody watching this season yet? No.
I have not caught. I've heard that it's turned up.
It's raunchy as ever.
Yeah, I heard they went a lot farther
The
even
boys.
than previous seasons.
Yeah.
So, but
No, yeah, back to sorry.
Whoa.
We were talking about this guy.
Ryan's. I know you can go right back to it. All I caught was keyword Denny's waitress. Yeah. And that's Seneca saying, I'm basically a Denny's waitress on Sunday mornings, walking around, filling up half-empty coffee mugs.
yes.
Yes, with the exception of you're doing it in something ridiculous.
No, he's
Not
he's
more ridiculous than a Denny's.
Yeah, I was
You,
gonna say, you're
you
already
saw
there.
you saw the mittens on the end of that suit,
did
right?
see that, yeah.
Did you notice they were gold glittered?
Yeah,
I
they have
did
glitter
not.
claws.
Yeah,
I
the
did
glitter.
not.
Yeah.
They're gold
Is
glitter
you-
claws.
You
That-
got the old Goldschlager coffee pour there, maybe.
Something fantastic.
So
Yeah,
back to what I was saying about the cigar. It's not to say that it's not good. I think the cigar is just fine.
Sorry. When you does not good and just fine sound like opposing statements?
I mean,
yes,
yeah, that's
they were opposing statements.
Yeah.
I said it's not to say the cigar is not good.
Well, just because you said it that way,
I can see the phrasing being a little.
yeah, you're like, not to say it's not good, it's just fine.
So go ahead.
Anyhow,
Sorry.
I think
focus.
I'm going to go back with what Sam said there, that it's got some complexity to it for sure. It is, and me,
Not as much complexity.
I am. That's true. I'm more of a stronger, especially in the morning with the coffee, and I find that this is not a coffee cigar.
So
I'm experiencing the coffee when I'm taking a hit off of the cigar. The coffee flavor is there. It's not the smoke isn't enhancing the coffee or the coffee flavor isn't enhancing the smoke that I'm drawing.
Right.
The coffee flavor is overpowering the smoke that I'm drawing.
So with that, is it because I'm not having the same experience, and I don't know if we're experiencing it the same way and we're just defining it different, or if it's actually not the same. But like, to me, this cigar has like espresso notes to it. I don't get the normal like chocolatey notes of a San Andreas. I get like an espresso note to it on the retro, primarily on the retro. Is it that you're not used to a complementary pairing, you're more used to a contrasting pairing, and that's why it seems like it? Because instead of the coffee being light and friendly and making the cigar seem like it's amped up, they're working together in unison.
You're also drinking different things. Yours is black coffee, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yours is
Sweetened, yeah.
right. So that sweetness might give you something to
So it's giving me that contrast, which is why I don't know that that's what's going on for you, but like that would be my suspicion, because mine's contrasting because of the Di Serrano.
Okay, yeah. I would probably presume that this is more complimentary,
Right,
and I am by no means a sommelier of cigars.
We'll get you there.
I think in honor of Seneca, we should call it a simian instead.
Is there a word for like the sommelier of cigars?
Aficionado is the mostly
It's just been used so much.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to brand associate whenever you use that terminology.
Sure.
And other people have tried to come up with something else.
You could be a wine aficionado, but the purpose of a sommelier
It's rolled into tobacconist and aficionado, and really, I mean, if somebody asks about it, I define myself more as a sommelier than I do either of those terms.
I'm gonna look it up.
So
before Sam and I were talking about the coffee and the cigar, how's it go with the tequila, Corey?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm burning a little quick. I think I had obviously a little empty pocket early in the cigar, which caused my burn issues. It's a little bit light, but that doesn't mean it's bad. So it seems like you guys are both having a better experience, and any one-off can be not great, right? But this is like, as far as flavor, not anything that I would necessarily like write home about, but also certainly not anything that I would turn away. This is a smoke again, a bowl cigar, depending on like price point, all that stuff. We have a ways to go for that, but sorry, you guys have me, by the way, just a little bit thrown off by the format change.
Yeah, I felt it too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just used to a little bit of a different way that we work here, which is cool because I get Jason and Sam are both feeling like that we should try to get a little bit more into the cigar right away.
We are responding to the feedback that you guys gave us on the Facebook group and all that. So
I was getting there.
Yeah,
I was just saying like that you guys were like in agreement with the trying to catch and hold on to particularly newer people to this program that are expecting a cigar show and then start listening and find out that we're kind of something different. And to your point of the sommelier, like, I'm not going to say it, but the branding of this show up until this point was designed to be anti-competition. Like I was trying to be the Deadpool.
Yeah.
Of
do it different
of the cigar shows, right? Because like my thoughts were like, you already have the Avengers out there, you already have the X-Men, you already have these, you already have that. We're not going to be able to come out swinging and be able to compete with those. So I was trying to be something that people took a little bit less seriously. Thus the branding.
That we accomplished.
Sure. But at this point too, I do kind of have to, and I don't consider this a pat on the back, but we've been doing this show for 2.5 years. We all now bring different viewpoints to what we're doing. And I do feel like I feel like that we can be taken seriously as much as it may be to my chagrin.
Well, we can actually talk about this. Actually, it's funny you say that. We have a funny dynamic. We have the interested novice.
How long can we call him that?
I think he's almost
we got
there.
A couple more years.
Yeah. You've got the intense enthusiast. I mean, like you're all in. Obviously, you're sitting here. And then
I've invested.
Yeah. And I'm a tobacconist because I have a shop.
Now.
So like yeah. So like it's I love that we have those perspectives, like especially like even when Trey was on, like we have 3 different lines of question that we're all pursuing at any given time. And I like the perspective change on it. It's fun. I'm gonna grab something real quick.
So like if you can make it past our shenanigans, I think there's something to be gained from a cigar smoker's perspective, no matter where you are in this show.
Ooh, I like your train of thought there, Sam. Yeah,
I do that at home. So, I've been.
Coffee boy, can you make a new pot?
I've been on. I wouldn't call it a health kick, but I've been trying to be a healthier person, losing weight, which, by the way, last I checked, I actually broke into the 170s. I was like 179, which is pretty good because I was at like 197.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Dude, right here.
Almost whenever I went into the doctor's office, which was the coolest part about jacking up my knee is I went back after 30 days instead of 3 months when I was supposed to. And I did I talk about this?
Yeah, we covered it last week.
Okay, so him being like, wow, people don't usually lose weight. But one of the things that I do is like I've stopped drinking soda or pop wherever you're from. I still drink these on the weekends because it helps me like quickly get to it. But the rest of the time I'll drink I make myself lattes on the Bangin' espresso machine that I have in the garage. Problem is I like them iced. And it takes time for me to do those, right? So like this is easier to grab on the go. But I have been doing the like iced lattes at the house, primarily, and so I am very familiar with those bottles that you just presented to the table, but not to the camera. Which are the?
I'm gonna ask a question, then I'm gonna touch on that real quick.
Go ahead.
Jeff Scales, you said we should put that in the header of the show. I don't know which thing you're referring to. I walked away for a minute and missed when that comment came in. Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
Okay, so apparently sommelier is not a wine exclusive term.
It is not.
So there are cigar sommeliers.
Okay.
I think we should add it to Wikipedia and call an expert in cigars the Cigar Simeon and just have a picture of Ryan in his outfit.
So the reason I stopped you from adding the vanilla to it, which as you can tell is my go-to out of this.
That's not vanilla. That's hazelnut.
Okay, that's the one I wanted you to grab. Never mind. So I just wanted to make sure because that's the most similar to what I'm doing. But I brought caramel in case you're like, no, hazelnut sucks. So
yeah. Now, what is the flavor of Disaronno if you had to?
It's hazelnut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amaretto, but it's hazelnut.
Yeah, there you go.
And just they're amazingly potent. So
gently.
Can I ask you how was your week? Is that okay? Like I don't know the overlords of formatting.
The overlords.
That's okay. That's okay. You guys can blame me.
Thank you, Jeff Scales.
I mean, here's what I like about typically what I like about our dynamic is I like to shift back and forth. Right. I don't want to lose anybody that is already have this information.
Yeah.
But kind of, I like to we're a drip coffee maker. I like to drip it throughout the show.
Just kind of pepper it in.
So how was your week?
So wife and kids are out of town, which made for
a bad week. It sounds like
for me, yeah, because I only get to see the kids for like a little bit each day anyway. So I was kind of, holy crap! Hold on, stop puffing and show them what tunneling looks like.
Yeah, is my construction is not the best.
Yeah, you're not
I don't know what it looks like because
can you swing
OBS?
Can you
Jason,
swing the camera?
Can I have OBS on my monitor, please?
Oh, that's actually Actually, it was a good shot, anyways.
But I need to have some real time. Just alt tab. There you
There
go.
we go.
So
Yeah, that's tunneling.
that is a B-hole right there.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I would just lop it off and start over.
No, I'm gonna smoke this one through.
You'd be able to smoke through it?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
That's what we're here for. The good, the bad,
But
the ugly.
but I did not get the best one. But that is a cavernous.
Void.
That is
Usually-
the Eye of Saruman right there.
Usually that's me.
Yeah, you do end up getting the poopiest one usually.
Yeah, I'll get like the cracked cigar or the one that tunnels, but that's okay.
So
Like in the case of yours, you know, that's a construction issue. Like that is a perfect
yeah,
central
this
hole.
is not this is not going to provide you the best cigar smoking experience that you're going to get out of
No,
this wine. And
but
it
everybody
happens. It
gets one
happens.
here and there.
There's a void.
Wow.
See the difference?
They changed it completely.
So it takes it over that hump, and it now you're contrasting instead of complementing the cigar. So it's a completely different experience.
See,
I can now taste those.
And the problem is, this is not just a tip cigar; it's a leaning house cigar. So when I have this one, it makes it a little hard for me to go like hard into the hey.
Yeah, I can taste
How's
this.
the cigar?
Yeah.
How's the flavor
'Cause you're
components?
like-
because I'm like, I don't know. There's a hole in the middle.
We're not playing the same game.
You guys are playing Uno and
Yeah.
I'm playing Skippo over here.
Yeah. No, I'll get back to Week in a second, just because he had such a big transition on that. But no,
It's crazy.
but it shows like
I'll just drink.
that's one of the things I've kind of, been working on for myself is being able to identify that without having to go from dark coffee to light to sweet coffee.
Sorry. Hi, Colby.
Hi, Colby. But no, like, so I've actually done a lot of start a cigar with black coffee, add a little bit of cream, then add a little bit of sugar, then add, one of these sweeteners or something like that, and just see how the same cigar transitions through each of those different variations of what I'm doing with it, changing it. Because, we've said it 10 million times. What you're doing with the cigar changes the cigar.
I actually am going to do something I try not to do. I'm going to give Jeff a pat on the back. Because once he explained what he was saying was essentially the episode title should be The Novice, the Enthusiast, and the Tobacconist.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's I threw a quick thank you while we were talking to him. But yeah,
pretty
dude, that
good.
is spot on, man. I like that.
that's cool.
But yeah, no, so it shows you like how different a cigar can be. That's why, like, like Ryan has the Brulee. That's a classic, I recommend people for the morning cigars. The Brulee Blue, even more so. It has, that little bit of sweetness on the end. Tatiscan, it's very similar to the Tatiscan. Have you done a
Sugar
Brulee
Eat.
Blue yet?
I don't believe so.
All right. Next time I get them in, I'll make sure to pull. Actually, next time I get them in, we'll do them on the show. Because
You know what I
it's a
like about
great
Steve
start to the
Saka?
day.
I always feel skinny compared to Steve Saka. You know what I mean? Like, I always feel like I'm doing good.
It's
know?
got you. It's got your back.
Yeah. So how was your week?
Yeah, it just made for a chaotic week because we had Liberty Pool on Sunday, and then Britt and the kids.
Which was a great time.
You enjoyed
It
it?
was warm.
Yeah, it was
It was
toasty.
warm, but it was a great time. Like that ended up being a day for us, but
Yeah.
it was a great event.
Oh, yeah, it's
You did some bicycling though, didn't
yeah,
you?
yeah. I went out. A couple customers we've been talking about trying to get out for mountain biking. I still had Wednesday off, so
Hill biking.
no, it felt like a
Are there
mountain.
mountains in South Hills?
It felt like it.
I don't feel like most people mountain bike in the mountains.
Yeah, no. When they do downhill, man, it's crazy. Those guys, the guys that actually like mountain bike, are psychopaths. Like you have to be broken inside a little bit for that. Like that's awesome.
It's funny because that seems like where you were as a kid.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Versus where as you are as a parent now. Like that was my wife's. My wife used to be fearless before we had kids. And like once we had kids, like everything scares her.
Everything
Because
changed.
she's like, oh, I must preserve my life
Yeah.
in order to continue to care for my children. And I did a little bit of that get to
That
you.
was the hard stop for me on the hill. So like we're going, I'm getting comfortable because I haven't done a lot of mountain biking, like on an actual mountain bike. I used to ride all these same trails on a BMX bike back,
Yeah.
when I was younger. But it was at first it was getting comfortable, and then we started doing some of the downhills. I started getting comfy, and then I was like, wait a minute, you're still almost 40 years old. You still have to go to work every single day and keep your business alive, maybe slow down. So like it's a hard internal thing for me to like
in the back of the
calm
head.
down. Yeah.
It's like the life preservation protocol.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's like, that was a great example of it. Like it was, I wanted to go, but I have to be like an adult.
If you're distracted by all the bicycles, Jason's trying to find the bicycle that he got a sweet deal on for his kid.
Oh yeah. So I bought a department store bike for myself. And it's just a road
Montgomery
bike.
Ward was the last one I got mine from. Remember that store? That was a thing.
Yes, I remember Montgomery Ward.
Yeah.
So I got a department store bike for myself. I got a department store mountain bike for Emma.
Yeah.
And Joey, the bike rack I have for the car, well, I took the van and I didn't have a bike rack at that point in time. So I had to stuff both bikes inside the van to get them home, which took me and Emma like 45 minutes out in the parking lot to jimmy these things in the.
Can you hold that for 1 second for my brain's interjection? 40-year-old virgin. I'm gonna put my bike in your trunk. Go.
Okay, I was doing it with my daughter.
Come on, I wasn't trying to make it.
No, I get it. I get it.
I don't have the buttons anymore, so you just have to deal with my brain.
Gotcha. So we get everything home, and Joey, obviously, he's like, "Dude, what? I want a bike."
Which is actually like in this era a really good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So we go. I said, "There's a bike store in town, like a legit bike store."
Oh yeah, the West Newton Bike Shop.
Yeah, the West Newton Bike Shop. So I went down. I was like, "Look, next week we'll go down to the West Newton Bike Shop. I'll see if they have something down there. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to spend $500 on a bike for you, but we'll see if they have something nice." So we go down there and we're like, "Hey, we want this mountain. We want a mountain bike." And they're showing me like $700, $800, $900 mountain bikes,
which is crazy because that's the intro.
Yeah. And he was like, "Are you interested in used stuff?" And I was like, yeah, I could look at a used bike. And he was like, "I got this Kent this guy just brought into me.
Clark
didn't like it. He wanted something to ride the trail, and he bought this like baller mountain bike.
Yeah.
$300. I was like,
perfect.
Sold.
Done.
This thing's got like, dude, the tires on that thing are this wide.
2.35s, yeah.
Well, and then I told Joey, I was like, next time Sam goes mountain biking, I'm going to steal your bike and go with him.
Yeah. Oh, dude, let's go. I'll tell you what, a giant mistake was made on my part. So I have an 18-speed. I got 2 gears in the front, 9 in the back, right? And we're pedaling up the hill, and I, joking with the guys, I'm like, on the downhills, you guys are going to crush me, but like, I'm going to smoke you guys going uphill. Like I'm just going to smoke you. That's, I ride a lot on the road and stuff where I did before, this, but I ride a good bit. And I'm like, all right, muscle memory will carry me through this.
It's just like riding a bike.
No, I smoked them going up the hill, and they made a comment. They're like, "Dude, you are like out of saddle the whole time, like just hammering up this hill." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm just trying to keep it going. I don't know what the deal is, but like I couldn't put enough power to the pedal." So we're getting ready to do the last downhill. My chain pops, and I look down. It's just a small pop. I hit a stump, and chain popped off. So I grab the chain, put it back on, and I just sit down. And the one guy looks at me. He's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "I have a dual gear set in the front." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I didn't use it the whole time climbing. I was on the big gear the whole time." Bro, my legs were on, because I'm wondering, I'm like, I'm dying. Like, I am hurting from doing this climb. And these guys are like, they're beat up too.
Sure.
But I'm in a little bit better shape, and I'm really concerned with myself at this moment. And then I realized, like, oh, I've only been using like the top half of their gear set. They've been at the bottom. So they're just like, do. And I'm sitting here. I'm
just hammering it.
I'm riding bikes like I'm making meat, low and slow, just hammering the gear. Got him.
That one was funny.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah. So that was my week. How about you?
First of all, the glory of my bike riding, which I've also been doing. And I was saying this to Jason. We talked yesterday, and I was like, we better stop talking so we have something to talk about on the show.
We were on the phone for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird because when I call Jason, usually I feel an urgency to be like, all right, dude, I don't want to talk to you no more.
Yeah.
And like I feel that with a lot of people because most people are not phone conversation folk like I am. But when I feel that, I get out.
Yeah.
And but Jason and I actually talked for like 10 minutes, and it was like, all right, we gotta save something for tomorrow, man. But he was telling me about the bicycling, and so like obviously my knee has been in a gingerly state, but we were up at camp over the weekend, and I'm gonna hurry up and run back to the beginning of the week. Liberty Pole was incredible.
Awesome.
Reconnected with some people I haven't seen in a while. We ended up going to so everyone like that was hanging out in our group at Liberty Pole was awesome, super warm but awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, let's go grab some dinner. And Shannon's like, yeah, go out to dinner. And I'm like, you're forgetting a key element. We have Summer with us.
Yeah, we got the dog.
Yeah, I'm like, you just can't take her anywhere. So they've like Frankie Eyes up in Washington. You could take the dog, sit on the deck. So we ended up going with the Scaleses and with Jesse Rapsack and his wonderful girlfriend Carrie. We went out, had dinner there, which was a great time. Went to Jesse's, hang out at the deck, which is like a block away from my home. So we had a great evening there. But I'll go back to the middle of the week. We went up to campus weekend, and so like I was like, should I take the bike because my knee's jacked up? And I thought, well, screw it. Like worst case scenario, we're going to be on a trail. I could just hammer the throttle the whole time, right? But I really do. Like everyone gave me so much crap for buying an e-bike. They really did. But my thoughts were like, you know where I live. There's nowhere that I could just hop on my bike and ride from like a novice or even an intermediate level without just crushing yourself on the hills. So I'm like, I'll use the motor to get up and down those parts. But when I'm on a trail, I really try hard not to use that. But we did 12 miles yesterday on a trail, which was super dope up north of Butler. Had a great time. Uncle Artie smashed us because he's old, but he's great at everything. Screw you, Uncle Artie. And then after that, we went like back into the woods, changed out all the batteries on all the trail cams and all that stuff. So it was like a lot of exercise for Corey.
Nice.
Yesterday. But now I always hesitate to like name names or anything, but Stephanie and Casey, thank you very much for Wednesday. I do attend a party every year that is 4th of July oriented. Yeah. Without giving too many hints, that was the private party that Nick and I played as Strum Junkies. And you want to talk about over the top. You guys saw some videos and some pictures of freaking foam cannons, fireworks. When I say... so I was able to, because we played this year, I haven't played their party before. I felt like I was able to ask, like, hey, can I bring a couple of people? And I did. And so Jeff Scales hasn't mentioned anything yet in the comments. Jeff and Chris, they're both here. But my brother-in-law and his wife and Uncle Artie, and they were like, where are we? Like, what did you bring us to? This is ridiculous. I used to do my own 4th of July party, and they completely demasculated me to where I was like, what's the point of even trying?
Is demasculated a word?
It is now.
Okay.
So, but it was incredible. Shout out to Casey and Off the Hook, Jeff says. Casey and Stephanie for having us out. It was awesome, incredible. But so that leads us back into conversation last night where Jason and I are talking, and I inadvertently said a keyword that jumped Jason off, and he's like, bicycles, check out what I was up to. And I was like, that'd be cool, man. Like, you know, him and his kids and me and the boy should hook up. And the boy does, for a kid that watches YouTube and plays Xbox all day, if I didn't have the electric, like, he could smoke me if he wants to. Which is good. Yeah, as a parent,
as you should.
You know, you're like you kind of want like, okay, dude, you're like freaking 25 years younger. Than me. Show something, and he does, and then I'm
great.
like,
So I have been doing my best to try to get my son to be more active, right?
As we do.
He sits around. He plays on his Switch. When I tell him go outside and do something, just I don't care. Go in the woods and kick rocks. He complains about it. He's like, "There's nothing to do outside." Blah blah blah.
You need other people for that.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I downloaded Pokemon Go on my phone.
Nerd.
And I'm like, we're gonna go walk around town. Just get outside.
Yeah.
I'll incorporate video games into it or something.
Yeah, you made it a game.
He didn't like it.
No?
No. He was like, this is not for me, Dad. So I was like, I got one last thing. Emma wants to play tennis.
Okay.
So I bought Emma and I tennis rackets. I also bought a pickleball set.
Yeah, I was gonna say pickleball is the way to get into it.
So and it's slower because tennis is a fast game.
Yeah.
I took Joseph.
Can I ask why? Because I have limited experience with both of those games. Why is pickleball
Leverage
slower?
in the ball type.
The ball type. It's like a wiffle ball.
Racket's
Thank
only
you,
this big.
Eric.
Yeah.
It's like a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's wiffle ball tennis,
All right.
pretty much.
But you're using like a ping pong paddle, yes?
Yeah,
It's
it's
essentially.
about this big.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, they're big.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a handle on it. It's
Yeah.
a paddle.
Uh-huh.
It does not, like when you swing it, the fact that it does not have holes in it really slows it down through the air.
All right.
They said an hour of pickleball is roughly 1,000-calorie workout.
So Joey and I are playing pickleball, and it's the height of the day. And I go, hey, we play for about 40 minutes. And I'm like, hey, let's take a water break. So we sit down and we take a water break, and I nudge him. I'm like, hey, you ready to go? And he looks at me and he goes, Can we play some more? And I was like, yes,
Let's
we
go.
can.
Yeah, dude.
So we played for another 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And he started to get like, okay, I'm hitting my wall. I was like, you scored 2 points on me. We can call it a day. So I extended our
like, drug it out a little more.
didn't count, but we're done for today, son. You'll get better.
So Shannon and Chris Scales are having a excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Conversation about apparently pickleball can be fast if you play with bangers versus dinkers, and apparently Chris and Shannon are dinkers. So
Oh,
let's
I looked at the comments and I just saw my wife say, "I'm a drinker." LOL, and I was like,
dinker.
"Okay." I thought she just liked the dink.
I think we need to get a sticker for the back of
Peter Dinklage.
the back of Chris Scales' car that says Dinker Bell.
I feel like my wife, when she catches up to this in 10 seconds, is just gonna go. Whoosh. Yeah,
It's close.
I'm maintaining controlage. So yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like I was talking to him last night. He was talking about all the bicycle stuff, and I was like, yeah, it'd be cool, man. Like, yeah, I'll pack up the bikes.
Yeah.
And me and the boy will come meet up. We could ride a trail somewhere, you know.
I'm actually considering doing like a monthly, just the tip mountain bike ride. Just like, let's go.
Okay, so bangers and dinkers.
It's a thing.
Can I just
Yeah.
say? Can I just say that could be the new name of the podcast? That'd be okay.
Bangers and dinkers. So a banger in pickleball is a player that likes to consistently drive the pickleball. A banger likes to play with pace and power and typically does not like to engage in the soft game, which would be the dinkers.
Okay. So I guess that would screw if you had dinkers playing against banger. This is crazy. This is killing me. If you had dinkers playing against
Eric's having a
bangers, I
great
guess that would
time.
be. I guess that'd be really challenging for both sides because, like, hey, they're slamming it, but every time it gets here, we're just like dink and just let it real easy.
Mm.
You know,
And
walk
here's the
back and drive
thing.
them nuts.
So a couple times while
These are the guys that wanted to keep everything on cigar topic, just for the record.
And this is
Go
the guy
ahead.
that purposefully off-railed us.
That's right.
So I would slam it a couple times when I was playing against Joseph, and it, honest to God, the moment that ball hits the deck, it takes everything off of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a really, really manageable game. Like if you got two in shape people together, they'd be able to play a game of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need
if
to
you have a little
find-
bit of coordination.
Can we find like a cigar relative definitions for bangers and dingers. Like, the guys that just smoke like the 770s and smoke them down in like 45 minutes. Those are the bangers. I feel like, right?
They're just
Yeah.
gone.
Does that feel accurate?
Yeah, I
And
think
then
you're
the
not off.
dinkers are the guys that'll make like a Corona last for like 2 hours.
I don't know if we should rename this episode the
Bangers and
Novice,
Dinkers?
the Enthusiast, and the Tobacconist, or the Bangers and the Dinkers.
Bangers and dinkers, baby.
So back to the cigar since we went that route.
Hey,
I am really enjoying it as a first cigar of the day.
which can I be honest with the audience? Sam wasn't looking forward to
Not at
smoking
all.
this.
No.
And this is not again a cigar you carry, correct?
Mm.
Which to be fair, like there's
There's a lot of cigars out there. There's a lot of stuff I don't carry.
Yeah, I mean, like you only have so much room,
Right.
You only have so much capital to bring
Yeah.
stuff in, and so you can't carry everybody.
Right.
Nobody can. But I finally caught up. I think to
You finally have a
being
real-
decent construction about halfway through the cigar. Which again, that's not something that should be taken as a negative on a cigar. Everybody
Yeah.
has a bad one.
Yeah. They happen.
somewhere. It happens, man. Like handmade products are bound to have an issue once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think I'm starting to catch up to you guys. But I'm not, maybe by the end I'll be able to kind of
Yeah. Get a
hang
little
with
bit
you
of a
guys
feel.
on the honest interpretation. But where are you two at?
I dig it with the amaretto. It is
Yeah.
much better than sitting here drinking the black coffee with it.
Yeah. It adds something to it. It pulls the notes forward for you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely still get that espresso, but it's starting to turn up a little bit. I think at the very end of this, I'm going to be like, man, I wish it was a little bit longer. Like, I think once it gets into that strength and
Heard
the end
that
of the last
before.
third.
That's
think
about where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm deeper into the cigar than you are. Just a hair.
Yeah.
Just by a tip.
Just the tip.
There was a lot of questions. I think it was Aunt Judy asking me yesterday, why just the tip? And I was like, there's a lot of reasons.
I just tipped my hat.
Yeah, that's your BS answer.
It's like a quadruple entendre.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I mean-
it really is. I was like, well, there's this, and there's this. And then Shannon's like yelling at me and smacking me in the arm. We're sitting at a picnic table eating our dinner at camp. And I got like, hanging with Aunt Judy and Uncle Artie. And she's like, I'm like, she brought it up. What do you want me to say?
I think that's the best name for a podcast ever, hanging with Aunt Judy.
Hey, I call her Pretty Judy. Actually, let me ask you this, because there's a little overlap. Like this show is based on something that we enjoy from a taste perspective. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're finally ready to get on the Blackstone train.
I was told we're getting on the Blackstone train.
There you go.
That's-
Which means I get to shop.
You happy about this?
It's always nice to shop with somebody else's money, because my wife says I'm not allowed to use ours anymore. I actually, have you ever seen the guy? He reminds me of a dude I worked with in the oil field. There's a couple of these guys that feel like Minnesotians or something that do like YouTube stuff pretty heavy.
Oh, I know you're talking about, yeah.
And so like he recently I seen did a thing making fun of the people that are like Blackstone enthusiasts, like
They go
you
crazy.
cook anything on here, it maintains the flavor, all the juices are sealed in. I'm not gonna say that everything cooked on the Blackstone tastes better than stuff cooked inside. My argument for the Blackstone is, if you're like me and you want to be
Nobody's
able
like
to
you. Thank God for little things, but nobody's
if you're
like you.
like me in regard to enjoying cooking outside because you can enjoy a cigar while you cook, which I would think that somebody who sells cigars would be in favor of personally.
I've wanted one, but it made no sense because I'm not there. So
It has nothing to do with you and everything to do about sales. So the cool thing about Blackstone is you cook every meal on it if you really want to, especially when you're trying to keep the heat out of your house in the summertime.
that's the
right?
biggest thing for us.
Or for me, as being like, I'll cook whatever you want as long as I could go fire up a cigar while
Let me do
I
it.
do it. The Blackstone has been incredible for me. Also because I have a vegetarian daughter. and I can
Oh,
cook
yeah.
stuff on the Blackstone that she'll eat, right? So there's a lot of versatility there. But like with the few exceptions of things like pasta and soup, you cook anything you want on that thing.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Blackstone Incorporated.
Okay, let me jump back. A griddle. Yeah.
I'm going to politely disagree with you and the Blackstone because I have a ceramic egg, and that thing is incredible.
Yes.
Grill and
But
smoker are
eggs,
different.
yeah.
They're a different category, right?
Yeah, I'm with him on this one. Sorry. But
Because
the smoker
because,
versus that are two different worlds.
dude, I have one of everything. I have a smoker, I have a grill, and I have a Blackstone. Not only do I have them at home,
Mhm.
I have them at camp,
Mhm.
which everybody loves because when people go, "Oh, I missed you at camp," they don't say that. They go, "Oh, we missed you at breakfast." Because I could fire off eggs, bacon, all the different stuff, and like
Sure. There's a convenience to that because the
grilled
Blackstone's
cheese.
propane, right?
It is.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. Because I have a cast iron griddle that I can sit on top of it. I also have a stone
Yeah,
that I
for
put
pizza.
inside. I can cook a pizza directly on my smoke.
That's cool though, but that's
Yeah.
that's the point. It's not about. It's a little bit about convenience, but it's mostly being able to transcend just throwing burgers and hot dogs and stuff that you could do on a grill.
Yeah.
To the other things too, and like there's a lot of
Yeah,
like,
you're not
I've
having to play with nearly as much tinfoil.
I've cooked stuff that people would call gourmet. Like I've done chicken teriyaki in a pineapple bowl. And that was one of the coolest things I ever cooked. As a lot of work, cutting up all them damn pineapples and hollowing them out. Yeah, but like I got to smoke cigars while I did it, so like that's a plus for this show, right? Like that's in favor of.
No, so she's staying at her dad's this week, and they have a Blackstone up there. So and there's 6 kids and 2, 4, 6 adults up there. So like there's a lot of people.
Comment, you could read it.
Oh yeah. Uncle Artie's actually out making breakfast on the Blackstone right now. But she was saying, she's like, it's so nice because like to make a bunch of food for all those people, it's just, all right, crack a bunch of eggs in the kitchen, go out and go to town.
Yeah.
You do have the bulk and the ease of it. And that's where she's kind of into it. And my plan was on the 4th, we were going to cook out here a little bit. So I was like, I'm going to go grab a grill, just a Weber kettle or just something simple, to get through this one, and then we'll figure it out. And she's like, well, why don't you just pick up a Blackstone for the shop?
Hey.
And I was like, all right. And then I started thinking about, I'm like, you got to season them before you use them. This is on Wednesday. On Thursday, I need to use this thing. I'm not spending all the rest of my day today trying to season this thing and then loading it back in the truck, bringing it to this. And then there's the logistics of like, where do I store it? Instead, I went with
Chris took a shot at Ryan Seneca in the chat. It's fun. Sorry.
Nice.
I derailed.
But no, I got one of the Smoky Joe's, little 14-inch little Weber kettle that sits on the desktop. We made 20 burgers and 20 dogs on it yesterday. Done. For what we were using it for, it was perfect. But no, I highly contemplated picking up the Blackstone for like, all right, if we're going to have a cookout, I'll throw it in the truck, bring it here.
So if you've listened to the show long enough, if you haven't and you're new to it, the three of us, the one thing that we have in common other than cigars is that we all three worked in the oil field.
Yeah.
And for at least the last year of being in the oil field, I was in charge of making breakfast for the whole job site because I had a portable Blackstone. And like, it was as popular as I've ever been in my life. Like, this show has nothing on me making breakfast on the job sites.
Nice.
So the point is, the only time I really use my portable one anymore is we went tent camping for the first time in years this year, and I used it for that. But I have one at the house. So if you'd ever just like to take a test run on one and you want to borrow my 22-inch just to be like, hey, man, like, let me try cooking for the kids one day or whatever. I mean, I think you're pretty well convinced anyway.
I think you misunderstand how this works. My
The
wife
wife
told
said
me
you
we're getting
want
one. This isn't my decision.
The wife said you want one.
Oh.
That's a translation.
The wife finally agrees that I want one because I've been asking for one for like 3 years. Because we have that patio right off our porch.
You'll have one by the end of the day, probably. I'll take care of you.
We'll find it by the end of the day. I got to figure out how to get it. But yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. But yeah, Sorry.
Again, it's really just about the ability to go out there and just like dudes like cooking outside. And like the cool thing to me, and I don't want to go too far on this. I'm sorry if I am already, but like
No, we're good.
one of the nice things is like you can cook all these different things without having to dirty up a bunch of different pots and pans.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things to do, if you guys have a Blackstone already, the power play is you cook your bacon first, right?
Use the grease to cook the
And
rest.
you set it up at an angle where the grease stays on the Blackstone in the corners. And then the best power move is, if you're a fat guy, is you take that bacon grease and then you cook everything in it.
Yeah.
But you save the pancakes for last because they cook quickly, right? And then you just essentially deep fry those pancakes in the bacon grease. And it is like a funnel cake cooked in bacon. You get that nice crispy outside, especially if you can get a nice thick pancake on there. You don't water down your mix. You like try to keep it just a little bit drier. So you get these nice thick pancakes and you just keep flipping them in that grease. And when you bite into it, you get that crunch on the outside.
Yeah.
And the inside is soft and gooey. It's incredible.
Oh,
Sorry, you guys. Get with your doctors about your blood pressure medicine. That's probably the reason I have to be on it now.
No, the biggest thing for me, like the biggest draw to it, is we don't have air conditioning in our house. So it's a whole lot nicer to cook out there.
For
What?
absolute.
You don't have air conditioning?
I got window units.
Okay.
Yeah, our house is consistently pretty warm. We keep the bedrooms cold, but the rest of the house we're like, go outside or go do something else. So
You know what? That's a great idea. I ought to start keeping my house at like 80 degrees.
that's a little higher than I'm okay with, but yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like I'm not gonna just sit around the table and sweat. So like, if
I
I'm
think
gonna be
that's-
sweating, I'm gonna go do something.
I think it's one of Eric's favorite websites, by the way. Window units. This little voyeur. Yeah, you're welcome. You try as you might. I'm going to take it off the rails one way or the other.
And I'm gonna bring it back. So if you could pick anything to put the
I'm
cigar
bringing
with, what would you
sexy
put
back.
it with?
That's
I've been trying to think of a question that we could like ask every episode. If you
Okay.
could put it with anything, and you're not allowed to say your standard tequila. every time.
honestly,
Oh, for pairing with terrible.
Just what do you think would go good with it? It could be food, it could be drink, it could be, campfire, coffee, whatever.
Chocolate milk.
Actually, chocolate moo goes really well with cigars. Stupidly so.
So I would probably this would be a dessert cigar for me. Okay. Something with caramel, the amaretto, the hazelnut.
How about a
something-
latte?
Something like that with a latte. This would go really good with a latte.
Yeah.
Something. In fact, now that I'm tasting it, when you said chocolate milk, like something with cream or milk in it.
I said
something
that
like
because
that.
I ate so I was home alone last night because the wife and kids are still at camp, and I'm laying in bed and I wasn't quite dozing off yet, and I'm like, there's nobody in here to complain. So I go to the freezer and I grab the remainder of my chocolate peanut butter with chocolate covered pretzel ice cream from the freezer, and I just went and ate it in bed while I watched The Simpsons last night, and that was the last thing that I tasted was like that
Chocolatey ice
chocolate
cream,
milk.
yeah. No, how about? So is that where you would go with this?
No, that was just a random thing.
Okay,
that
well,
I
that's
pulled
why-
out of my
that's
head.
why I'm
That's why
clarifying.
I'm like really surprised that everybody's agreeing with me because I'm like, hey,
No, you're spot on with it.
Yeah, because I don't effing know. I don't.
Actually, I think this is gonna sound dumb, but like when you said pineapple,
earlier.
I think because of the espresso nature of the cigar, I think like pineapple or banana would go really well with it. Like as an
like a tropical frozen drink, like a pina colada, maybe.
I meant like
or
the
like
actual
a
food itself. But
okay, strawberry banana daiquiri.
But no, yeah. Actually, that'd be pretty spot on. A pina colada.
So you went back to the thing I said
Yeah.
before the thing.
No,
I
no,
said.
I'm-
okay.
that's-
Okay.
yeah.
Way to keep me on my toes.
When
I
I-
appreciate that about you.
Try with a little bit of caramel now.
Yeah. Well, and then when I make my pina coladas, I add banana. So that's like my little hack for them.
Well, you know what they say. Give me 2 pina coladas. one for each hand.
Go ahead and do what you were about to do. I think before
just-
before you go to the 2 pina coladas and I know what happens at the third. So
It's a country song, man. Garth Brooks. Give me 2 pina coladas.
oh no, I'm thinking that.
I want
yeah.
one for each hand.
But I meant give me one
Sail
pina
with
colada.
Captain Morgan.
What's she called?
You'll never
You've
leave
never heard
dry
2 pina
land.
coladas?
I thought it was
All the
what's his
troubles
name?
I forgot.
No,
It's a parrot head guy.
It's Garth Brooks.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
very
not
much Garth
Jimmy
Brooks.
Buffett.
Yeah, I
buddy.
thought it was Jimmy
No,
Buffett.
It's Garth Brooks.
Oh.
Garth Brooks is the original Zach Brown Band. Because Zach Brown Band is trying to be Jimmy Buffett, where Garth Brooks and Jimmy Buffett kind of coexisted at the same time. And Garth was like, he was the country Jimmy. So he's like, you got Tropical, which is Jimmy. And then you've got like from upper Florida north to the Mason-Dixon line, which was Garth.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Oh.
All right, that might try
that
to
was-
be too intellectual and geographical explanation.
No,
of the two.
I get
categories.
it. I agreed. I don't know. That's why I was just said
You
okay.
just condemned yourself.
I know. That's
Welcome to the group J.D. Gelman and
Joe Wills.
Joe Wills. Why did I just write the last
I don't know why you did that. I just looked up.
I was
like,
in a hurry.
Yep.
I was in a
Yeah.
hurry. We played Boggle yesterday. I was in like a very write as fast as you could kind of mode.
I'm getting ready to just fly through.
Uncle already beat me, stupid bastard.
It seems like that's a trend. Every time you guys are at camp, and you're like,
Uncle
already
Artie
beats me at
is
every
the
game.
king of board games.
Oh, really?
Fortunately, he doesn't win poker that often. But other
get
than
him on that
like
one?
he's the king of board games. Yeah, very much so. Are we looking at
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Your
just
turn.
keep swimming.
I did a thing.
Colby
Buy
said she
cigars
just did that.
with
Pancakes, bacon, sausage, and eggs. Yeah, that sounds. I'm hungry, so this is like this conversation needs to move on because I don't want to talk about food anymore.
I like meatball hoagies. You know what I mean?
I like totals.
I like turtles.
I like totals.
I thought you said totals.
Oh, you know what? So I'm gonna kind of jump ahead and screw it up a little bit. What are we smoking next week?
Sweet.
What was next week?
Is that accurate? Did you
I'm
read
asking-
it? Because
no.
it's on your
I
notes.
don't look at
Rojas Unfinished Business is the one on deck from Just a Tip, what you told me.
All right.
See, I feel like he's setting me up to be wrong
No,
because you should know it's your cigar.
there was talks about doing a double. Yeah, we're good. We talked about skipping instead of doing 1 2 1 2 1 2 back and forth. We were gonna do catch ups, and I said it doesn't matter. But I didn't know where we ended on that. Have you had the unfinished business?
I don't know.
Have you had the unfinished business?
I've not.
I didn't know if you guys had any preconceived notions on it or anything like that. Because I think it'd be cool to talk about the one we're going to smoke next week, and then
I have preconceived notions about anything Rojas.
which are
I agree with Ryan Seneca. Rojas.
yeah. Seneca said we should let him blind something from the humidor and see if we can guess it by the end of the show. I like it.
Yeah, sounds really, really bad for Corey.
I have a very unfair advantage,
Well, you've smoked everything in there.
and I know everything. That's like it's kind of a nice little cheat. Like if he goes and gets it done this day, you know, then I know that okay. Well, he had these were the cigars that were an option at
The
that
one
day.
thing I take from the note that Jason's passing is that he doesn't trust me anymore.
That's has absolutely nothing to do
No,
with
it was
it.
part of the discussion that we had
Okay.
the other day.
Oh, to be fair, I was going to say,
To be
did he trust me at the
fair.
beginning?
fair.
Yeah.
I said that
Absolutely
earlier,
not.
and you jumped right into something else. So I was like,
I was
they're not-
already-
the boys are not with me
Look,
on the.
Sometimes
the
I have to
pairs.
like try really hard to keep us on track.
You know what's great is that like the rest of my family has started doing that. So I'll say it to my boy, like, I want to be fair, and he would, to be fair.
Yes.
I was like, all right, kid, you're picking it up.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, that just a terrible transition was about to happen. So I just stopped. It was just going to be
I
bad.
put you on the spot.
Yeah, it was just going to be bad.
You know what I think people should do is they should probably check out our website if they haven't already.
Oh, yeah. If you want
Go
to give
to
us a
our
little bit of
website.
love and a little bit of support, go to our website, YouTube,
You know what it is?
Spotify, Amazon. There's 1,000 places. Nope, take that away.
Amazon, yeah,
yeah.
play podcasts and
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, can you buy our stuff on Amazon? That'd be awesome.
But yeah, if you guys, if you want to give us a little bit of support, like, subscribe, follow. I mean, it's about a 2-second commitment from you, and all it takes is clicky clicky, and it means a lot to us.
I'm just doing the background music for what you're doing.
Okay, I'm done.
You used to be so much better at that.
At what?
At just ignoring me and continuing on.
I did ignore you, and I continued, and then I finished it.
You finished too fast.
That's
I've
been
been
the
there. How
story of
about
my
you?
life. Yeah. Colby said we're rarely on track when the wheels are constantly falling off.
Well,
She's not wrong.
there's the so without naming names, Jason, my roller from my crew, whom you've had to. No, he was on vacation this week. You were lucky you didn't have to work with him all week. But you'll say something to him at work and it'd be like, "Hope you brought 4 spares with you today," as a common thing. So the wheel's always falling off.
Oh,
Reminded me of that because you'll say something that displeases him and he'd be like, "Hope you brought 4 spares today."
Oh, so he's fun to be around.
He can be a cranky guy.
Him and the guy that normally rolls on my crew, like, this is stupid. I'm gonna try to keep this from being too long, but Craig got stuck with him the week before I went away, and he's like, "I don't know how you deal with him." Like, it used to be his number one guy. And he'd be like,
Oh, wow.
"Man, like, we're like 5 minutes into the turn. He wants to change roles. He wants to go into the mill and look for this problem and that problem." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't know. I guess I'm actually the more chill at work. Like, I'm just like, all right, fine, whatever you want. Just keep it moving, you know?"
Continue.
So
rolling. Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
you
Just
know
had a
what's
moment.
really messed up? I saw the picture on Jason's shirt. Okay. But I can't read it from here because there's boom arms, there's wires,
Yeah.
there's tripods in the way. And all I saw was, is that Tenacious D? And I'm like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, that ain't right.
That
at
ain't
all.
Jack Black.
Little baby with an afro on my shirt.
So since you did the caramel, how is it?
It's the Notorious B.I.G. That's what my shirt is.
They call me the Notorious Little.
Yeah.
I love it when they call me Big Pops.
Honestly,
Put your hands in the air.
darker, burnt flavor of the caramel really, really pairs well with this cigar.
Yeah, better than the hazelnut.
That's why I said like a latte or something with cream in it, because I could taste the cream, or I could imagine how the cream would taste in there. I'd actually maybe put even cream in the coffee here, and I do not drink like flavored and creamed coffee, but with this cigar, I probably would.
Liberty Pool bourbon cream. Ooh. That would be it. Yep.
One of the things. So I was like, Trey was new to Liberty Pool, yeah. And I'm like, you don't, and so I had a meal. I actually had like 3 of them, and they had shoot,
balsamic.
Yes,
I couldn't think of it either.
Thank you very much. A balsamic syrup with a peach ginger beer in these meals, right? And like, I'm telling people, and they're like, ugh. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but you just got to trust them, because what they do is they build things from like a scientific level and not like a traditional, like, oh, this sounds like it would be good with this.
What does that mean?
What? Balsamic? What does what mean?
We'll have to look it up after.
All right.
But like, all of those people over at Liberty Pool, they are so scientific. It's like molecular.
Oh,
They're like, this will mix with this because this one has 2 oxygen atoms and this has 1 oxygen. So like these things will pair.
Oh yeah.
And so I've learned to trust them. Yeah. And then I went into with Trey, like, no, they know you can only mix their cream with this one root beer.
A&W.
Because of
they balance the pH in it so that it doesn't
pH
coagulate.
level. Yeah. And it's like, if you do anything else, the cream will curdle. But for some reason, A&W root beer has like the perfect pH level.
Yeah.
To where it will mix. And he's like, the F you talking about? And I'm like, it's like the Dexter's lab of whiskey.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're constantly experimenting with stuff. They're constantly playing with stuff, which makes it, that's what makes it so fun to go down there is you never know what they're going to have next. Like you don't know what the drink's going to be. You don't know what the food's going to be.
The thing is, you just got to trust.
Yeah.
Because they know their craft from a different perspective than most other people would approach it from.
Yeah.
And man, they're baller at it.
So
it's badass.
Trey and I, we were on our way back here. And I was like,
the two of us.
And we made it, and we tried because we tried. But no, I was like, hey, you hungry? I'm like, I got to get some food. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, left is Mexican food, straight's American fare. He's like, yeah, let's get Mexican food. We walk in. I just set the menu down. He's like, oh, you've been here a lot. Like, I was like, no, I've never been here. He's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm just going to order whatever you order. And he kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, dude, as a business owner, the one thing that I love places is when I don't have to make a decision, because all I do all day, every day is make decisions over and over again. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, but I don't think you're going to like what I'm getting. I'm like, I don't care. I'll eat anything if I don't like it or not.
He's like, let me have the forehead platter.
And I was like, and then I said, I'm like, if you're debating two different things, order both and we can split them. Like, I don't care how we do this. I just need food in my belly. So he ordered cow tongue tacos.
Cow tongue is delightful.
Holy
bro.
cow. That was
Cow
the first time I'd had it. It was phenomenal.
Good. Cow tongue. Have you ever had the lunch meat?
No.
Like cow tongue can be presented as a lunch meat, and it's delightful.
In Denver, I've had tripe tacos. Buddy.
Oh.
It cooked right. So I have two different experiences with tripe. I have Italian tripe, and I have South American tripe. And Italian tripe and South American tripe are cooked two completely different ways.
Okay.
Italian tripe is cooked twice. South American tripe is cooked once. Do not eat South American tripe. Eat Italian tripe, because it when it's only cooked once, it's kind of like gummy and slimy.
Oh.
But when it's cooked a second time, it takes that away and it's almost a little crispy. And I like tripe when it's cooked twice. I do not like tripe cooked once.
So if I was to guess how they cooked this, sous vide, tossed it on the grill to warm it up for the taco and move on. Like
yep, that's it.
Dude, it was super tender. That was the other thing. It was phenomenal how just, I don't know. It was awesome. It was fantastic. We did that, and we did the one with pineapple. I can't think of what it's called right now. I'll think of it in a couple. Al Pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And the Al Pastor was phenomenal too. So like it was great. And then we had our array of hot sauces, and neither of us were. What's the matter? Are you okay?
I'm watching the live stream here, and it like just flickered and jumped. I guess I caught up.
Oh yeah. But no, it was the Al Pastor was fantastic too. But then we started playing with the hot sauces.
Yeah.
And the guac, and like it was so good. I'm like probably gonna order from there today.
That's awesome.
It was great.
So I want to shout out Ryan Clement. He is a milestone follower, which I've been spending the past like 10 minutes trying to figure out what a milestone follower is.
Which has been terrible for me because I can't not read what's on the screen. So
right.
like you're like moving around. I'm like, just like looking down, looking up.
So shout out to Ryan, who's a milestone follower, and I have absolutely no idea what the milestone is. So congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what milestone we had set for you, but thank you.
Also, I have to apologize for being the reason he canceled his D&D game tonight because, I got to cover Craig's vacation.
Oh, well, that's work related.
So,
that's forgivable.
Yeah.
And
next week I'm going to be at Boy Scout camp, so it's 2 weeks in a row, and we like to have our game every other weekend. So.
Yeah.
Parents be warned.
Yeah. D&D time.
No, it was the Boy Scout part I was worried about.
Yeah, womp womp. Well, I am just about finished with mine. Final thoughts on mine are, you could pretty much, anybody who's like, oh, I only smoke Connecticut's, this would be a good entry to Maduros. This would be a good way to be like, hey, I get it, but try this guy. I think as it went through, I think it did end up being a little bit more one note than I was expecting, because I got a lot at the beginning, but I think it got stronger, but it tamed down as far as like profile went. But I really enjoyed it, and I think now like I got to do this with Liberty Pool bourbon cream and coffee, because I think that's just going to be fantastic.
That would be incredible.
Thoughts?
I got the dud.
You got, yeah, but it corrected.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Eventually,
Sam and I.
here's the problem. If you don't light your cigar the correct way, the whole cigar is tainted. Yes.
Yeah, you don't get
Right.
if you don't get the start that it's supposed to have, you don't get the finish it's intended.
Right. So I don't think that this is not a horrible experience for me. For a cigar that didn't burn well for me, it was still not terrible.
Yeah.
But with that being said, again, it comes down to any company. I don't care who you are. You're going to have a rough one sometimes. And the best endorsement that I've had for this cigar so far is actually your experience, Sam, and the fact that you weren't looking forward to
No, I was
this.
not at all. Not even a little bit.
And so, like, that's where I'm going to take my
Yeah.
perspective of this cigar, not my own smoking perspective, because I didn't have one that was burning perfectly.
So the milestone that he reached was he hit the follow button.
Who's he?
Ryan Clement.
Hey,
Seneca, for some reason, his on
bro,
that
what
chat
took
they're
you
not showing
so
up.
long?
But no. It doesn't say that he just did it. It says that he has done it. But
Oh, okay. Gotcha. You hit the follow button. Thanks, Ryan.
Like, subscribe,
Yeah.
share.
now, Colby
even if we aren't doing
Colby
something
has
weird.
the anniversary tag, which means that she followed before Ryan Seneca because he doesn't have that tag.
Are that what the hearts
But
and
Ryan's a top
flags and
fan.
stuff?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. All those little badges apparently are meaning things. The Ryans are taking over. Well played. But yeah,
I would like to shout out to the camera angle that makes me look even shorter than I normally do. Thank you, Jason.
I have
really
been
does.
not
thinking
putting
about
any
that.
effort into the fact that I look like I'm 3.5 feet tall.
I have been thinking about that
It
this
really does.
whole time.
I
Sam
look
looks like a giant,
we represent the lollipop.
and Corey looks like a midget over there. And I was just like, you know what? To heck with it. I'm leaving it like
It
that.
is so
Hey, guys.
ridiculous.
pick me.
The camera angle.
No, it is bad this week.
And here's the thing, like, if you picked me in gym class, I will hurt a girl. You know what I mean? Like, I was that kid, like, at least at a certain point, like, yeah, I'm little, but like, I'll mess. I don't care, man. Like, all right, you want a little insight into Corey?
No.
High school.
We
High
really
school.
We've
don't.
had
Yeah,
plenty,
I know
but
you
let's,
don't. I know
let's
you
get
don't.
some more.
Yeah. High school. Hot topic, yes. We're all familiar
I think we did.
with the hot topic of our era when
Okay.
hot topic was new.
Like 90s,
Oh,
early
yeah.
2000s.
Very
Sure,
late,
Sure.
early 2000s. I frosted tips was my way to go. Yeah. I just discovered that I could do things
The
with
tip
my
of
hair.
what?
Well, yes. At this time, previously, I looked like Emmett from Lego Movie.
Never saw it.
Really?
Continue on.
You have kids. Lego Movie is the best movie you've never seen. I promise. Jason, have you seen Lego Movie?
The Lego movie is dope.
It is incredible. That
Okay,
movie is
now
so-
I know what Emmett's hair was.
Yes,
Thank you.
That was my hair from age 1 to 15.
Yeah.
Okay. That
standard.
hair. Yes.
Yep.
Go ahead and click on that if you want. He's got the perfect. That is what I looked like up until 15, and then I went through this extra.
Oh, I've got an incredible idea. Continue
This
talking.
change. Yes, I found that I could like spike up my hair and
Yeah.
all this stuff. However, hot topic, pleather, flame, like hot rod flames, pants and jacket, and I burned holes in these pleather pants, like playing kickball on the basketball court style floor of our gym.
Oh yeah.
Because I was that committed.
You
You know what I mean?
I'm in.
Oh, dude, I was committed. Like, they did not care for me in gym class.
Not so much, huh?
I was all in. That's all.
Oh.
That was like the bottom line. But yes, that is exactly. You throw a couple pimples and some horrible glasses, and that was me for like the first 15 years of my life.
Well, for anybody who wants to hear more stories about Corey beating up women, like football, I couldn't finish it.
My wife said I'm not allowed to talk about that anymore.
I'm not even going to add the comment that I have next for that. But Jay, what was your final thoughts on this stick?
I liked it. I absolutely would smoke it again for sure.
Yes, very Guy Fieri. That was me at like 15 and a half, 16 years old. Guy Fieri without the palate.
You know what? That's actually a good, like,
Although
anybody else would be weird, but like for Guy, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, my sunglasses were either frontwards or non-existent. I never put them on the back of my head.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't be a thing. Yes.
If you guys don't see the video version, it's the best thing that Jason's ever done on this show.
I want to sit next to Emmett. Hold on.
Hey man, double
What's going on, buddy?
decker couches is where it's at.
Oh, double-decker couches, yes.
Double-decker couch.
I think you should tell us what we're smoking next week while Jason brings up the music and I give you some other background noise.
Ooh. So next week we're going to be doing the Rojas Unfinished Business. That is a box press Toro. It is going to be an exciting, fun little game. You know, it's not background noise when you're louder than the person speaking.
I muted him.
Look at the little dance. That's the Lego head.
Emmett's killing it. Emmett's killing it right now.
Bro, if you do not like